everyone. Welcome to Happy Empowerment Hour with X-Level Inc. I am so excited again, back by popular demand, my fabulous friend, and I would say a fabulous, fashionable, philanthropic, entertainment counterpart, Gabriel Rivera-Baraza. Hola, Gabriel.
Hola! Oh my God, that introduction, it's so elegant that you made me feel special today with a crazy day, right? But
Yeah.
nevertheless, it's a good introduction and a good day to start.
Well, I will tell you this, my beautiful friend. We have had a lot of fun adventures and a lot of the great things that we've been doing. But what I want to know and to talk about today is, as we are going to a great conversation, it's Hispanic Heritage Month is going on. And both of us, our culture is really important to us. We love the country we live in, but it's all about expanding our horizons. What are you excited about that's going on right now?
Well, I think there's so many changes. It's not a secret what's going on with the world, with
Right.
the situation. But I also feel that good things are happening because I have been one of those people that I feel that I have reinvented myself. I have discovered myself through these months,
Yeah.
and downs. And I think it's a great month. It's a great month to remember who we are, where we
Right.
come from, and where we're going. And why not celebrate it? Why
Right.
not engaged and be really proud of our beautiful culture? You can see I have the American flag because I love this country.
Yes.
We're part of it now, but also I think it's also very good to know where we come from.
Yes. And I think that that's a big misconception at times, that people think that when you're proud of your culture, you can't be proud of the country that you live in. And you and I embodiments of we do both. We love our culture. We love the countries from where our families come from. You came from there. But we love where we are right now, and we don't take it lightly, the freedoms that we have and the beautiful country we live in as well.
Definitely, I agree. Indeed, I was born in Mexico, raised in Mexico, but
Yes.
attended university in the U.S. I have been in New York for 20 years already, so New York is home. New York has given me so much. I really call the American dream of the land of opportunity. To me, it's New York. I know it sounds
Yeah.
bizarre, but I do feel that people that come here discover themselves, or not. Nevertheless, I think the city will discover you. Ah,
Right.
it's not
Oh, I love that
very.
one. Yay.
Will discover you. Will
Yes.
make you. Will leave you naked.
Uh,
Times Square.
no, definitely. And I have yeah, just like that cowboy, right? That's always in Times Square.
Oh wait, I guess he's from Texas, right? I don't know.
Right? He's from Texas, Texans, we go everywhere. You can find us
Right.
everywhere.
So it will leave you naked in Times Square.
No,
It's
definitely.
for yourself.
And one thing that you and I talk a lot about is empowering our community and really making a difference. And I will tell you this, I know we talked about it briefly before, but especially the Hispanic Heritage Month, I think more people need to know about your book and
Right.
your mission in this. And if people haven't purchased it, how they can as well. Tell us.
Well, especially this month, you have
Yeah, so important.
going to celebrate, what is it, since 2016, 17, almost 4 years. The
Yes,
book was launched, and I do feel that we're very proud about it.
yes,
It's an important book because, especially right now with the new elections, with the new things,
right,
we know that hard times probably are going to happen regardless of who wins.
right,
It's normal. It's completely natural. So in our community, in our case, I think it's extremely important. Nuevo New York, the book which I did with Hans Newman, the photographer, because it really again shows stories about personalities that had made it, that had contribute to our society in New York, and mostly in the fashion industry, philanthropy, and art. So what are most beautiful elements of our culture being
right.
represented?
No, definitely. And what I loved about it too, it was people of different levels. And I think that a lot of times in our community at times, they think of the telenovela story often, ¿verdad? Only some have it and some do not. And what I loved about this, and that's a mission that both you and I have, we're equalizers. We want everyone to know that there's potential where they can grow. I know for you, when you go back to Durango, you're involved in a project or different things like that. It's all about, you even asked me, have fashion magazines, send them to me so I can take to the children so that way they can dream to do something else with their lives. And I know that that's part of what was so powerful about what you did with your book, is how you photographed everybody and you equalize them in a beautiful, elegant, tasteful way.
Exactly. You just said something very important. This book represents all levels of different careers, different positions in life, different backgrounds, perhaps different traditions or cultures, but at the same time, we are equal living in the States, I
Right.
mean, America. And indeed, you mentioned something extremely important. I think education is the key of success.
Right.
And through reading, through books, to prepare yourself, to educate yourself, it's
Right.
the key of knowledge, of defending, of having a voice of your
Right.
own. And through this education, no one can steal it from you. You can lose, hard times like now economically. You a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, they can lose their job, money, in hard times, even their home, or it's completely a disaster. That
Right.
can happen. But one thing that they cannot get away from you, it's your mind, your education, and yourself. You have your,
Right.
and through that, it's you're prepared. If you can wake up and do it again, and think,
Right.
and things happen, for a reason. The universe is perfect. Sometimes we have to look back, or do other things that perhaps we didn't have in our plans, but it does give us the opportunity to defend ourselves again. I know some redundant, but going back to preparing yourself first, and that will give you an army
Right.
fight back in your own way.
No, definitely. And I love what you said. It's about things that no one can take from you.
No one.
No one can take your education. No one can take your mental attitude unless you choose to give it to someone.
Ooh,
And
you
circumstances.
said it's very strong, and it happens.
Right.
That's very crazy. Not, I wouldn't say crazy. That's not the word. It's a very strong word that we just said. Or if you give it away,
Right.
your knowledge to yourself.
Right. No, definitely. And I don't know if you've noticed this, because I would like to say that you and I are twins in this aspect. We're
I
eternal
know.
optimists.
Oh my God. It's
You and I are like the eternal twins of how are we going to keep it going? Okay, there's a problem.
like
Let's figure it out.
alike in many things, in many ways of events, or how would you call it? Not production, because that's not the word. Oh God, right now I'm like,
It's
I
okay. Dímelo en español.
those projects, and I
Yeah,
think
los projects. Sí.
beautiful. And because I'm very similar like you,
Yeah.
I reinvent myself. I do in like projects that I want to execute. I write them. I go after people. I try, because you never know who's gonna say yes. You
Right.
already have the no, so you have to fight
Right.
the yes. and
Exactly.
and it's very normal to do mistakes. It's very normal to not execute what you want at the right time,
Right.
because it's natural. But
Right.
the beautiful thing is that I feel like you and I would try things,
Right.
we go for it. We jump in the open ocean,
Right.
who knows if a shark is gonna get us, or we can jump from the shark.
Right.
But it's something I think that I'm proud of it. I
Yeah.
am.
And it's interesting what you just said, because you're right. Sometimes we try things and we jump into shark infested waters, but that's okay. We figure out where's our life jacket.
Yeah,
Oh, you lost a little foot, not a problem. You still have 90% of your body, to keep going. And I think that at times that's what I value so much in so many of our phone calls that we have is we both talk about, okay, how are we going to make this better? What's going to happen? And one thing I will say, friend, that I've learned so much from you, and something that I cherish so much of our friendship, is grace. You
definitely.
do such a good job of, when there might be a shark, is gracefully to send a nice note and be like, okay, it's not a problem. This is what we're going to do. And I think that's a secret to such great success, is in knowing that everybody's going to have a bad day, but you don't have to allow them to affect your day just because they're having a bad day in their reaction.
No, 100%. I strongly believe in a good energy, and it's
Yeah.
you know, it's like kind of like a relationship. I remember I had a very good friend of mine who passed away, was like 89 years old, and
Mm,
told me because she had a wonderful life, a fabulous lifestyle.
yeah.
Said, what is the secret of you having this beautiful life? What can you keep in knowledge to one day have a how do you say, a very nice life,
Right.
you did, like you have, and it's
Right.
not really a secret. You have to make yourself happy. Don't expect someone else to make you happy because they don't have to make you happy.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
what does that mean? And we're talking about relationships, we're talking about a job,
Right.
friends, we're talking about, es una viejez, no se dice inocente, una palabra que me dijo, which the word was beautiful, and it's
That's okay.
but she said, to make you proud, but to get there when the time
Right.
comes, and you look back and you know you had a beautiful lifestyle, and that's beautiful. Someone lived through so many years and experience, and that opened my eyes. Uh,
Right.
that sometimes all of us feel that someone has to make us happy, and when, like, again, talking about like maybe a job, maybe something,
Right.
why do they have to make you happy? That's
Right.
wrong. It's wrong. I think it has to come from inner, and we have to make
Right.
happy in order to portray and make everything else happy. And
Yeah.
of course, we have our days. I'm not saying that it's going to be always fabulous, and even a negative time you're gonna feel the best of the world. No, you have your days. You have like a moment that you wish you were in another situation, but from that bad experience, why not learn and
Right.
experience and accept the mistake or the wrong thing you did to move forward. Move forward.
Right. No, definitely. And I think it's one of the things that you said as well, which I love in this conversation, was about moving forward. I think that at times, the reason not everybody focuses on their own thing, and that's the ego, is what we talk about a lot, is it says, no, you have to be right. And I think a quote I heard one time was, is it more important to be right or to be happy?
100.
And I go, wow, that is so important. Is it's more important to be happy. So my sister, she's in real estate, and I'm so proud of Ilani and all that she's done. And I remember one time she was telling me about a client, and that they were like very upset about a couple $1,000s on, on a bid or something like that. And she goes, I have a question to ask you. And it resonated with me so much. She goes, 10 years from now, when you said this is your dream house, is it worth the stress of $5,000 10 years from now? Or do you just want to give 5,000 more dollars and get the house that you really wanted? You have to decide. It's either, is 5,000 worth it to you, or is this dream worth it to you? And it could be that the 5,000 is more, but it's your choice. What would you like to do? And I love that, because I go, a lot of times we don't look at situations as choices. We look at it like, no, tiene que ser así because I said it has to be this way. It's like, no, I think there's room in there for it, because everything is a choice. We had a choice to be on today's call, to spend time together. And I know you have so many other great interviews going today, and I appreciate you so much. It's like, oh my gosh, we're going to jump and we're going to do these other things. But we had a choice to be here and to be centered and say, this is something we really want to do, and in supporting each other as we all grow.
Well, I just remember she said, una
Yes,
vejez
tell me.
decente. She said, para tener una vejez decente.
Decente. Mm,
And that was, wow. That was
wow.
right. And you're right. I think at the end of the day, the older we get, the more experience in your mind hopefully changes too with time, because there will be a problem if we still don't change.
Right.
Always says we never change, right? Probably it's true. Probably it's true. Probably we never change. We are who we are, and this is it. But hopefully, it's some good things come in our mind. If something is not working out, it's something is wrong, and you have to accept to change, and that hurts. And I'm telling you why. Because a lot of times we think we're right, and which is normal. We know that's why we probably experience. And I had this amazing experience last year before COVID. It was like, I forgot, it was November or December, and it was a group of people, and it was a group, and they asked me about my dreams.
Yeah.
And what I want to do, blah blah blah. It's
Right.
a beautiful moment, and the lady was very smart, and she told me, you know, you have obstacles that is not letting you have your dreams come true because of this.
Mm,
Oh my God, it was very true to
yeah.
hear. You know, but you don't want to hear it.
Right.
Ooh la la, maybe it's true. So she said, you need to change. You need to change.
Mm,
You need to change your mind. You have to like accept other things, or you're gonna have a hard time in your future being perhaps successful if you want to be successful, if you want to be economically much better, if you want to be, and the most important thing you said, happy, because happiness
right.
is what we all aim to look for. And she said something very strong, and I said, you know what? She's right. And guess what? When I see something that I'm doing wrong, remember that you have to change. You have to change in a good way. You have to change
Right.
this, or let's why not give the opportunity to yourself to do different things that perhaps you thought they were not right, or sometimes we really look into image, which is good. Look at image, protect yourself, but why not give certain opportunities to things that
Right.
were perhaps not your image.
Right. You know what? I think that that's
Not
a
your image.
yeah, not the image. But I love what you said. So I'm curious, and you answered it right now, but I'm just curious, what's something that you really, when you listen to that advice, that great advice that she gave you, what was it something that you changed within yourself that you just said, you know what? This resonated and I'm now going to do this, and it's made such a difference for you.
A beautiful question. Very good question, because yes, I think that I accepted that I was afraid. I know it sounds really bizarre.
Uh-huh.
Make money.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was scared to, like in Coruscantes, to charge what I deserve,
Right.
or what
Right.
say I'm worth this, and I
Wow.
I'm not worth this. Maybe I should be much less than someone else, because then I will get more opportunity. Or if someone's worth charging $10, I always thought maybe I should charge three.
Wow. Yeah.
And I say no, I can charge 10.
Yes.
So it's quite hard to
Right.
acknowledge that, because cultural, a lot of times, you and I are Mexican
Yes.
heritage. A lot of times in our culture, money could be perceived as a bad thing,
Right.
and that's not the right thing.
Right.
A good thing.
Right.
That is amazing. It's
Ex-
phenomenal. And let's call it and get it. It's not, it's
Right. Let's attract it to our lives. Yes.
perfect, but it's good. You can do
Right.
beautiful things. And I work in philanthropy and I raise money.
Yeah.
The funny thing, when I raise money for philanthropy for certain organizations, I don't feel bad. If you give
Right.
whatever, 1 million, half a million, or whatever, I don't know.
Right.
I don't feel bad, because I feel, you know why? Look at that, very interesting. Because it's not for me, it's for someone else. But if it comes
Mm,
to me, oh my God, no, 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 let's change it. And why not,
mm,
uh, give money through your work to something that you love, and receive fabulous money. And
right.
through that, you can do beautiful things and also help.
Exactly. No, definitely. And thank you for saying that and for being so vulnerable with that. I appreciate it. I think even as an entrepreneur, I'll be honest with you, I've settled with the exact same thing going, how do you value this? I remember when I came up with our hourly rate, it was all these things. It was so funny. People were convincing me what I should be paid versus the other way around. And I was like, oh, I have a self-worth thing that I didn't even realize was there because we haven't, I think, explored that way. And for me, because I was always working for a corporation, it's a little bit differently because they give a number and then you do that. So it was interesting as an entrepreneur. So I agree with you.
Because also we work in this fashion industry, you and I work with
Yes.
people and companies, and also gets overwhelmed. Is that the word that
Yeah.
desperate for money and making millions and desperate, that gets you tired too. Like,
Right.
you feel like it's never enough. I don't know if I told you one amazing advice. There was an organization that I was very stressed to raise a certain point of money, right? So
Right.
I raised the money, and the person that gave me the money for the
Uh-huh.
complete my goal said, "Why are you stressed?" And I said, "Oh, because I have to raise money. I have to make this
Yeah.
goal for, because I feel like a responsibility to raise." And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It doesn't matter if you raise $1 or you raise 1 million. It's never going to be enough."
Wow.
And I said, "What do you mean it's never going to be enough?" because
Yeah.
never enough. If you raise certain money, they expect you to even not expect, but they expect to make more because it's just natural. So
Right.
enjoy the ride, do what you can, enjoy, do your best, and don't feel guilty. And
Right.
then I changed completely my mind. And
Right.
of course, the jobs that you and I collaborate,
Right.
of course, you feel good if you raise a certain amount,
Yes.
you're helping and you're doing beautiful things. But I learned a lesson. Why should be pressure? Because it's still what you raise. You can help people. You can make a difference. And if you didn't raise the goal that you were thinking, well, maybe will come later. But it doesn't.
Right.
They say, they expect more the next time.
Right. No, definitely. But but I love what you said as well right now. Gosh, you're on an amazing roll on this Empowering Hour. But what you were talking about was about the guilt as well that we self impose when we create these expectations for ourselves instead of allowing it to be a moment where you're learning and allowing it to be a moment of growth and enjoying it in the process of it. Right. Because I know the lives that you've changed through many amazing philanthropic efforts, and that is beautifully stated. And I think that that's something that is so key that I'm learning from you right now. It's setting the expectation. As long as you did your best,
Right.
then you can work on a different project in the future. But I think at times we self-impose these expectations that aren't effective for a very long time, and you're like,
So
why did I do this?
real and I'm saying that it's not real. I mean, that's not the right word to say, but it's just doesn't matter. If you make what you have to make, yes, you can be happy for a moment, but
Right.
there's always going to be much more needs, and you have to be realistic. What
Right.
with the little bit you get is always positive. If you get
Right.
dollars, but those $10 you can make a difference in some people, some kids, some communities, some.
Right.
So there's always a way to use even people say, oh, but if I feel guilty because I cannot afford or donate what other people donate. I say, no, no, no. There's so many ways to help. If you
Right.
want to help, you can,
Right.
and there's different ways of giving them knowledge, of giving them a connection to other people like you and I do. you know
Right.
uh, we connect wonderful people to organizations, and through that connections, through that knowledge that we have, or relations, we change lives.
Right. No, definitivamente. And I feel that when we're changing these beautiful lives, as like you said, you and I are a great network of saying, okay, how can we get these individuals? And I love when you bring me a puzzle and I'm like, okay, let's figure this one out together, because we have a lot of fun in that. But it's because what our intentions are. Our intentions are to better the organization and to better the person in this. And I will tell you this, that I think even sometimes personally, I've witnessed this, even if someone just wants to write a check and they do it for many different reasons,
Right.
we can't judge the reason why. But I always tell the person, like if it's a larger check, I always ask them, I go, but are you passionate about it? Because everything is as energy that you're transferring that. So if you're asking to be wined and dined for a certain thing, are you doing it for the right reasons? Because if you aren't, it's going to come across when you show up at the event instead of when you're just going to be there because you really want to make a difference. There is a big difference in how you're showing up to the world in that. And it's the same thing with time. Are you just doing the time to get connected to somebody, or because you really want to make a change? And I think when you really want to make a lasting change, it's interesting how many other great things end up happening. Again, we will take all volunteers, all donations, help every great cause. But I think sometimes everyone has to ask themselves is, what is the intention behind your involvement? Because behind that will be much more growth, in my personal opinion, for organizations and for yourself in your evolution of happiness.
No, you know what? Working in nonprofit organizations, you learn so many things from people, and you said something like, "Are you passionate to help?" Because for some people, have a different sentimental
Right.
them can be, helping animals, helping dogs, helping
Yeah.
helping education. I like education. That's one of
Right.
the I feel like it gives the people a voice to defend themselves.
Right.
And of course, children, it's always a need. But there's a friends of mine who are very wealthy as well, and They do wonderful things, and some of them, for example, help an organization to save rocks.
Right.
The world, are you saving a rock? But there's a way, a sentimental way, why they're saving. I don't know. Everything is different.
Right.
Everything is valuable as long as you give you energy, positive energy up there, and what can be good for you, not necessarily for me in my mind.
Right.
Donating, helping, and it's fine. There's always
Right.
people up there that will identify with you and your adventure.
Right. Just like there's different jobs, there's different passions in philanthropy. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. So, friend, what is one lasting piece of advice that you want to give someone that's listening to us today on the Happy Empowerment Hour?
To be real to themselves.
Yeah.
A hard thing. It's a hard
Yes.
be authentic. It's very difficult actually with
Yeah.
all, yeah, with all these things going on around the world, and a lot of it's a hard times for everyone. But it's the time to discover yourself, to
Right.
admire yourself, to love yourself in order to love others and to do good things.
That is wonderful. Well, I will tell you this. I am so grateful to you, to your time. But most importantly, I want the audience, I'm just going to summarize our conversation. We're going to start with his last piece of advice, which is to love yourself and to be real with yourself. Possibly the hardest,
It's
but
very
best thing you
hard to
give
fall in
yourself.
love with yourself. Like, it's very hard to fall in love. I'm in love with myself, and I'm very happy. I
Well,
learned.
I'm in love with me too. And it's an evolution.
Isn't it?
Marissa Peer did it, and I had it on my mirror for a very long time, was the whole thing. It says, I am enough until you believe it.
And I know it sounds
So
really
important.
clear, and I was told this by experts, like learn to love yourself in order to love others, to love. And I was very like, well, what do you mean love myself? Sounds really weird, like egocentric. But obviously, there's always a limit. But yes, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and admiring yourself will bring you wonderful things.
No, definitely. Because when you love yourself, you can truly give love to others because you don't see them as a threat. You see them as somebody that is on their beautiful path. And I think even judgment goes away from that perspective because what you're really seeing, and it's interesting, when you love yourself, you also set what are the healthy boundaries, what you can and can't tolerate. Going back to the self-worth that you spoke about earlier, saying, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, and that's okay. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not in alignment with who I am because I'm being authentic to myself.
100%, and it is what it is. Life has changed. Things that are coming up perhaps are going to be very difficult, and more than ever, it's a time to meditate. And
Right.
I know it's not easy because for all of us, it's different circumstances, but it's the only way to bring the good energy and move forward.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Move forward.
Yes. And move forward with the positive energy. Yes. So everyone
Move
today,
forward with the energy.
I love it.
Okay.
It's what makes it fun. But I
Thank
will
you so much for the invitation.
Ay, pues corazón, I'm so grateful to you. We learned about letting go of guilt. We learned about self-worth. We learned about meditation. We learned about positivity. And most importantly, we also learned about making a difference through our positivity and the light that we bring to the world. And no matter how difficult it might seem to you, understand this, that you have two cheerleaders here that are all thinking that you're doing a great job. So if you're having a bad day today, it's okay. We are here to tell you it will be better tomorrow as long as you meditate and you take a moment for yourself to do something kind for yourself. So Gabriel, gracias, 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 corazón. I appreciate you. I cherish our friendship. And everyone, thank you for joining us on Xitlalt Inc. for the Happy Empowerment Hour. Be sure I will be tagging my fabulous friend, Gabriel. You never know what fun stuff we could be getting into in the future. Exactly. What fun we're going to be doing. And don't forget to subscribe. By subscribing, you're supporting greatness and you're really helping all of us evolve. And again, don't forget to smile because it's the most important thing you're going to do. Sending lots of love. Mira cómo eres bárbaro.
Bye.
Bye, love.